Now, question 1. Watch for must, most, least, or except. Private Access DB runs an application on EC2 instances and private subnets. This application needs to access an Amazon DynamoDB table. What is the most secure way to enable this access while ensuring traffic does not leave the AWS network? Select one answer. Review the answer choices on screen. The correct answer is option C. DynamoDB only supports gateway, not interface endpoints. A gateway VPC endpoint for Amazon DynamoDB allows EC2 instances in your VPC to access DynamoDB using private IP addresses without requiring an internet gateway, NAT device, or public IPs. Traffic between your VPC and DynamoDB stays within the AWS network, enhancing security and meeting the requirement of not traversing the internet. Note, for DynamoDB, it's specifically a gateway endpoint, not an interface endpoint. Hey friends, welcome back. 10 new questions today. This one's all about CloudFront origin controls, VPC endpoint and peering patterns, and lake formation access security. Standard drill, question, 6-second timer, answer, explanation. Pause whenever you need to think. Good luck. Track your correct answers. You will want your score for the wrap-up. Now, here's question 2. Quick check. Translate app content needs to translate product descriptions and user reviews on their e-commerce website from English into multiple languages, e.g. Spanish, French, German, to cater to a global audience. They are looking for a managed AWS service to perform this text translation. Which service is appropriate? Select one answer. Review the answer choices on screen. The correct answer is option D. One managed service purpose-built for text translation. Amazon Translate is a neural machine translation service that provides fast, high-quality, and customizable language translation. It can translate text between a wide variety of supported languages, making it ideal for translating website content like product descriptions and user reviews to reach a global audience. As a managed service, it handles the complexities of machine translation. Now, this is question 3. Performance Reports Limited's website offers users downloadable historical performance reports. The required solution must scale to meet global demand, be cost-effective, minimize infrastructure provisioning, and deliver the fastest possible response times to users. Which combination of AWS services should a solutions architect recommend to achieve these goals? Select one answer. Review the answer choices on screen. The correct answer is option D. S3 stores it. CloudFront delivers it globally. Amazon S3 provides a highly scalable, durable, and cost-effective platform for storing static files such as reports. Amazon CloudFront, as a global content delivery network, CDN, caches these files at edge locations geographically closer to the users. This combination significantly reduces latency, ensuring the fastest possible response time, scales globally to meet demand, minimizes direct infrastructure management, as S3 and CloudFront are managed services, and is very cost-effective for serving downloadable content worldwide. Let us keep moving. Question 4. Read this one twice. Secure CDN Inc. intend to use an Amazon S3 bucket for storage with an Amazon CloudFront distribution to serve its files. A critical requirement is to prevent users from accessing these files through direct S3 URLs. All access must be routed exclusively through CloudFront. How can this be effectively configured? Select one answer. Review the answer choices on screen. The correct answer is option A. The OAI locks the bucket. The others leave gaps. An origin access identity, OAI, is a special CloudFront user that can be associated with your distribution. By granting read permissions on your S3 bucket only to this OAI via an S3 bucket policy, you ensure that users cannot access the S3 objects directly using S3 URLs. CloudFront will then use the OAI to fetch objects from S3, effectively restricting all access to go through the CloudFront distribution, which can then implement other access controls like signed URLs if needed. Time for another one, question 5. Look for the constraint that matters. Stateless app backup requires a backup strategy for its 3-tier stateless web application. EC2 instances, web tier, are in an auto scaling group with dynamic scaling. The database tier is RDS for PostgreSQL. EC2 instances do not require temporary local storage backup. RPO is 2 hours. The strategy must maximize scalability and optimize resource use. What's the best solution? Select one answer. Review the answer choices on screen. The correct answer is option A. Stateless EC2 means the AMI is your backup. Since the web application EC2 instances are stateless and in an auto-scaling group, the primary concern for their backup is the AMI used to launch new instances. Keeping this AMI up to date is key. For the RDS for PostgreSQL database, enabling automated backups allows for point-in-time recovery, PIDR up to any second within the backup retention period, easily meeting a 2-hour RPO. This approach is scalable and optimizes resource use as you're not backing up ephemeral instance states unnecessarily. Gateway for DynamoDB endpoints, OAI to lock S3 to CloudFront, and stateless EC2 means your AMI is the backup. Ready? Question 6. Hourly Java batch runs a Java-based job on an Amazon EC2 instance. This job executes every hour, takes approximately 10 seconds to complete, and consumes about 1 GB of memory. The CPU utilization of the instance is generally low, except for brief surges when the job runs, during which it utilizes the maximum available CPU. The company wants to optimize the costs associated with running this hourly job. Which serverless solution will best meet these requirements? Select one answer. Review the answer choices on screen. The correct answer is option D. 10 seconds of work, 0 hours of idle billing. AWS Lambda is a serverless compute service, ideally suited for short-running, event-driven tasks like this hourly Java job. By migrating the code to a Lambda function, configured with the necessary 1 GB of memory, the company pays only for the actual compute time consumed during each 10-second execution, plus a small charge for requests. There are no costs incurred when the function is not running. Amazon EventBridge can be used to schedule the Lambda function to run every hour. This approach significantly optimizes costs compared to maintaining an EC2 instance, even a small one that is mostly idle, and it eliminates server management overhead. Ready? Question 7. Watch the almost right choices. eConnection Store hosts a 3-tier e-commerce application on EC2 instances in an auto-scaling group behind an ALB. All e-commerce data is in an RDS for MariaDB multi-AZDB instance. They want to optimize customer session management for transactions, requiring session data to be stored durably. Which two solutions are suitable? Choose 2. Review the answer choices on screen. The correct answers are option C and option E. Sticky sessions look right, but break at scale. C. Amazon ElastiCache, Rivis, or Memcache provides a fast in-memory data store that can be used as a centralized session store. It's highly available and, with Redis, offers persistence options for durability. E. Amazon DynamoDB is a fully managed NoSQL database that is highly durable and scalable. It can also be effectively used as a session store, especially when low latency access and scalability are critical. Both options decouple session state from individual EC2 instances, supporting durability and scalability in an auto-scaling environment. This one trips people up. Sticky sessions sound perfect, but they break the moment auto-scaling kicks in. Picture this: 50 EC2 instances behind a load balancer. A customer is halfway through checkout when one instance gets terminated. Auto-scaling just scaled in. If that session was tied to that instance, it's gone. Cart wiped. That's the trap with sticky sessions. They glue a user to one EC2. If that box dies, so does the session. Cookies store data on the client. No server durability. You need session data living somewhere all instances can reach. Elastic Cache with Redis gives you a shared in-memory store. Add persistence, and sessions survive even when instances come and go. DynamoDB does the same with full NoSQL durability built in. Both decouple sessions from any single machine. That's why C and E win. Let us switch gears. Question 8. Keep the constraints in view. Global App Connect, a multinational company, has applications running in the APE Southeast 2 region, e.g. Sydney, and the US 1 region, e.g. Ireland. Applications hosted within a VPC in AWS West 1 need to establish secure communication with databases running within a VPC and the APE Southeast 2. Which network design will effectively and securely meet these cross-region communication requirements? Select one answer. Review the answer choices on screen. The correct answer is option B. Private backbone traffic needs route tables in both VPCs. Interregion VPC peering allows you to connect VPCs in different AWS regions, enabling private network communication between resources in these VPCs as if they were in the same network. Traffic uses the AWS global backbone and does not traverse the public internet. After establishing the peering connection, which requires requests and acceptance, you must update the route tables in each VPC to direct traffic destined for the peered VPC's CIDR block through the peering connection. Security groups in the destination VPC, APE Southeast 2 in this case, must also be configured to allow inbound traffic from the source IP addresses or security group of the application servers in the EU West 1 VPC. This provides a secure and direct way for cross-region VPC communication. Let's slow down here. Picking the right cross-region connection tool is a classic exam trap. Imagine Global App Connect Sydney databases need to talk to their Ireland app servers privately, no public internet. The first instinct is just use a VPN between the two VPCs, but site-to-site VPN connects your office network to AWS, not two VPCs to each other. Direct Connect is even more off. It's for a physical cable from your data center to AWS. Private Link exposes one specific service across VPCs, not a full network connection. Interregion VPC peering is the fit. Two VPCs, two different AWS regions, connected over AWS's private backbone. You update the route tables on both sides, then add a security group rule allowing traffic from Ireland's IP range, and you're done. The exam tests whether you know AWS to AWS tools from on-prem tools. That's the trap. Let us switch gears. Question 9. The clue is not in the service name. S3 Cost Optimization Corp stores raw collected data in an Amazon S3 bucket. This data is utilized for various types of analytics on behalf of the company's customers. The access pattern for the S3 objects is unpredictable and varies significantly depending on the type of analytics being requested. The company cannot accurately predict or control these access patterns, but wants to significantly reduce its S3 storage costs without impacting performance for frequently accessed data. Which S3 storage class or feature should they implement for this bucket? Select one answer. Review the answer choices on screen. The correct answer is option D. Unpredictable access pattern means intelligent tiering, full stop. S3 intelligent tiering is specifically designed for data with unknown, changing, or unpredictable access patterns. It automatically monitors object access patterns and moves objects that have not been accessed for a certain period to a lower cost infrequent access tier. If an object in the infrequent access tier is later accessed, S3 intelligent tiering automatically moves it back to the frequent access tier. This happens without any performance impact for retrieval from these tiers, no operational overhead for managing lifecycle policies between these tiers, and no retrieval fees for moving data between the frequent and infrequent access tiers. This makes it an ideal solution for optimizing S3 costs when access patterns are unpredictable. Keep your focus here. Question 10. Separate fact from assumption. Lake Formation Privacy is building a data analysis platform on AWS using AWS Lake Formation to govern access to data. This platform will ingest data from various sources, including Amazon S3 and Amazon RDS. A critical requirement is to implement a secure solution that prevents access to specific portions of the data that contain sensitive customer or employee information, effectively enabling column-level and row-level security. Which lake formation feature will meet these fine-grained access control requirements with the least operational overhead? Select one answer. Review the answer choices on screen. The correct answer is option D. Data filters grant column and row security in one step. AWS Lake Formation is a service that simplifies the process of building, securing, and managing data lakes. A key feature of Lake Formation is its ability to provide fine-grained access control over data stored in Amazon S3 and cataloged in the AWS Glue Data Catalog, which can also include tables pointing to RDS data sources via federation. Lake Formation allows administrators to grant or revoke permissions at the database, table, column, and even row level, using data filters for different IAM users or roles. This enables the implementation of robust column-level and row-level security to prevent unauthorized access to sensitive information directly within the data lake governance framework, minimizing the need for creating multiple data copies or complex IAM policies for this purpose. Let's slow down on lake formation. The fine-grained access control part is exactly what this question tests. Imagine your HR table holds 10 million rows, salaries, social security numbers, and performance scores all mixed in. Your analytics team needs that data, but they must never see the salary or SSN columns. Lake Formation's built-in access control is made exactly for this. You define a data filter, think of it like a where clause, limiting which rows each user sees. Then you grant or deny specific columns in the same permission. One rule, enforced across every query engine you're using. The other answers all create extra work. You'd maintain Athena views or manage duplicate data copies. IAM tag conditions can't see inside rows or columns. IAM only knows S3 paths. That's the trap. Lake Formation does it natively, which is why option D wins. 3 takeaways from this session. First, DynamoDB uses a gateway endpoint, not interface. That keyword swap is a direct exam trap. Second, for stateless E2, the AMI is the backup. RDS-PR handles the database RPO on its own. Third, Lake Formation data filters enforce column and row security per IAM principle with no dataset duplication. Lake Formation data filters are the one pattern most candidates guess on. Now you can reason through it. Column, row, and cell security in a single grant. Keep that momentum. Before you go, help me out. Subscribe so the next set reaches you and so YouTube shows these to more learners. Comment how you did and what you'd want explained further. If you've got an exam on your list I haven't built yet, name it in the comments. And if anything about the pacing or visuals could be better, let me know. I read it all.